There are currently tens of thousands of free parallel parking tutorials on the internet. Yet, despite this massive library of free instruction, the failure rate for this specific road test maneuver remains stubbornly high. This 2x2 matrix displays 4 conflicting methods taught online. Top quadrants show starting contradictions, aligning side mirrors versus B-pillars. Bottom quadrants fracture further, comparing the visual quarter-glass triangle trick against a rigid mathematical 1-2-1 steering wheel rotation, regardless of the curb. These methods fail in practice because static videos assume a sterile environment. They assume the car you're parking behind is the exact same size as yours, and that you've parked precisely 3 feet away from it. In the real world, those perfect conditions almost never exist. Memorizing a list of steps on a screen does not translate to physical capability. Knowing when to turn the wheel is a completely separate skill from actually executing that turn while a line of traffic waits behind you. Once you are sitting in the driver's seat, the geometry changes. If your starting distance from the parked car is off by even a single inch, your entire trajectory shifts, requiring dynamic, split-second adjustments. The actual bottleneck to mastering this maneuver is a lack of objective, real-time feedback during the physical execution. How does a nervous new driver build spatial muscle memory and correct their physical mistakes when they don't have a professional instructor sitting in the passenger seat? This brings us to the DriversCoach app, a new digital tool. We are going to evaluate whether an AI-driven, real-time feedback loop can successfully replace the need to pay hundreds of dollars for an in-person driving coach. You cannot build muscle memory by passively watching a screen. You have to physically experience the error and correct it in the moment. Let's look at how most people currently try to learn parallel parking in their neighborhood, usually supervised by a parent. This top-down flowchart maps the traditional learning sequence. The driver watches a video tutorial on their phone, puts it away, and attempts to mimic the maneuver entirely from memory. Because they execute the move blindly, a slight misjudgment inevitably leads to scraping the curb. When the parking attempt fails, the driver gets absolutely zero diagnostic data explaining exactly what went wrong. This forces the parent in the passenger seat into the role of a driving instructor. They might know how to park, but they usually lack the specific vocabulary to explain the geometry to a teenager, which quickly devolves into arguments. Relying entirely on free, static videos creates an open loop of frustration. It costs the new driver their confidence and actively increases their anxiety leading up to test day. Now, let's put the driver back in the exact same seat, but this time utilizing the DriversCoach app. The app runs an in-car tracking system called Headwingo, an artificial intelligence that acts as a digital passenger. Here, the flowchart updates with a green path. The driver receives real-time feedback, correcting their position mid-maneuver. Look at the cycle between the AI feedback and correction nodes. This closed loop accelerates muscle memory by connecting physical input with immediate spatial correction. The evaluation continues even after the car is finally parked. This split screen shows the integrated dashcam feature. This allows the learner to step out of the high-stress cabin environment and review their exact physical attempt. The psychological benefit here is huge. It provides undeniable objective proof of spatial errors, completely eliminating the standard arguments between parents and teens about what actually went wrong. To offset the hardware demands, the app includes pre-drive checklists and built-in road test practice routes, which simulate the exact cognitive load and sequential instructions of the actual driving exam. By removing the guesswork of deciding what to practice each day, the app trades casual, free-form driving for a rigid but highly effective structured curriculum. So, what is your minimum viable setup to pass the road test? You have to evaluate your own specific situation. The gap between watching a 60-second tutorial and passing a physical driving test can only be bridged by objective measurement. Stop guessing your distances, stop arguing with your parents in the passenger seat, and start tracking your physical progress. You can download the DriversCoach app right now on the Apple and Google App Stores because you cannot master a physical task in the real world using only static theories from a screen.